Let's talk teams. It's part 2. Today, we're going to talk about attracting and retaining the right agents for your team.
So stay tuned on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. This is the Wandering But Not Lost WBNL podcast, where real estate and reality meet. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Well, welcome to the WBNL podcast, where real estate and reality meet. This is episode 203. You can find all of our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jan O'Brien, we are continuing our team talk.
Team talk. Hey, that sounds like a good name for a show.
There we go.
It's Team Talk, the Team Talk podcast. That's what we're focusing on in these next last episode. And we got another one for sure that we're going to talk about. There could be one more because there's a lot to talk about with teams.
There is. So last week we talked a little bit about, is it right for you to join a team or to build a team? We talked about different team models. So if you have kind of zoned in on your the model you are going to select, you're going to have to recruit and retain, right? And that kind of the meat and potatoes of all real estate businesses, correct?
Absolutely. And as always, we have a complete free little intro to team building. I know Matt's probably going to talk about that at the end, but I want to mention it right now because if you want to just go see if team building's for you, we recommend getting our intro course, right? I mean, can you tell them a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a great course. It's actually 12 different modules in that course. It's you can find it by going to WBNLcoaching.com. Go to our freebies page, and it's right there in the freebies page. It's a great course, a bunch of great downloads for you too. It'll really exercise your mind if you are really considering joining a team. So go get that for free. A lot of people, actually, almost everybody that has actually gone on to purchase our Team Builder program has started with Intro to Team Builder. So it's a good place to start. That's why we created it.
And you just mentioned, and I think we will do a future episode. You just mentioned something about joining a team, forming a team, building a team. But we will definitely talk in a future episode about if you're a new or newer agent, should you join a team? What are the benefits of being on a team and what should you look for, which is going to be the reverse of what we're talking about right now in this episode. Yeah. So we're really focused on helping team leaders today. But if you're somebody thinking about joining a team, this is going to help you today too, because we're in a reverse. In a future episode, we'll talk specifically to you as a person joining a team. But today I'm talking to team leaders or future team leaders about what they need to do to attract the right people to join their team. Okay. And that's what you'd be looking for if you're joining a team. So we're ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
So we're calling this recruiting and retention tips. However, I like the word, we have to use recruiting because everybody knows what that means, but I prefer the word agent attraction. And attract, right? It's because honestly, I really do believe that's what it's about. So we're going to talk first about attraction, and then we'll talk about once you have them, what do you do to keep people on your team?
Which is really more than half the battle sometimes.
It honestly is. But it's all about this setup. It's all about what I'm talking about first, and then we'll give you a couple tips on creating that great culture of people not wanting to go. And it's not about leads. Okay. So we'll say that up front. I mean, leads can be part of it, but it's not, you don't lead with leads.
Yeah. Leads will be in the conversation for sure. Right. But you're right.
I agree. I mean, listen, just speaking as a team leader, co-team leader, we've tried every conceivable way to do leads, and agents don't really want leads. They say they do because they're not willing to work what we can call a lead. A lead is somebody that we don't know yet, and we have to follow up and do all that. But we'll save that for another day. We'll talk.
It's funny. Just on that real quickly. As you do too. Follow a lot of people in real estate on social media, and just follow in general, right? You're the industry, and you can always tell when a office, either a real broker or a team has hit a spot where they are having trouble with attraction, because you start to see a lot of times, and this is what we're going to talk about to Jan's point, you start seeing this push for, we've got leads. And every time I see that, I think to myself, oh boy, they are dropping the ball on one of these other things that Jan's about to talk about.
I 100% agree. So agent attraction, it starts with you really have to sit down. Once you've gone through this, we talked already a little bit about structure and so forth. So you're really clear that you're doing a team and you're going to get your business systems in place. We talked about that in the last episode. So people can plug and play, like agents come and plug into what you do. That was the theme of our last talk, which was you need to have your own house in order. Well, now what you're ready to do when you have your house in order is to put together And I like to use the analogy of think listing presentation. Yes, and I know
Yep.
some of you don't even have a listing presentation anymore, which is a whole nother story. But you do need that. You have to show a seller, as an example, and same with a buyer, a consultation, what's in it for them? Why should they work with you? That's the analogy I want to present right now. So when we talk to you about building an affiliation proposal, you need to create what is your agent unique value proposition, your UVP, or if you like to call it an USP, your unique selling proposition. You have one of those for a seller and a buyer. We need to do the same thing for why should an agent join your team. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple of those bullet points, and it starts with your culture. Now, Matt, why don't you talk about culture? Matt, a long time ago, wrote this great article about what culture is and is not. So,
Yeah, and I think the easiest
how would you
way,
define what we mean by your culture?
yeah, I think the easiest way to define a culture of any company is just, and if you're really trying to do that, introspection on yourself, is just look in the mirror, and what you see there is the culture. You are the culture of your company. That's just really all there is to it. You can't go in and start making these things up about this is what the company's goals and mission and all of that BS is. It's never going to ring true, because whatever you bring to the table, and you lead by example always as a leader. And whatever you're bringing to the table really is your culture, whether you want it to be or not. I've worked in so many companies over the years where they are trying to create their culture where you and your immediate, people around you, like, and if you're a team leader that has a manager that's working with you, or your number two person, they can help you with that, to help build it. But you have to look at yourself and carry that on. There are different kinds of cultures, and people will fit into the culture that's going to be most adaptive, or what they resonate the most with. You don't have to be something you're not. You are what you are. People are going to attract to you because of that. It's fine. So don't go in and try to reinvent yourself either. Just realize the way you look at business, the way you are going to handle your customer service is what your culture is going to be.
I love it. And that is so powerful. Exact words were in my head. Don't try to be something you're not. And
Nope.
and I was just having a conversation with Cosmo about all the different types of people that are out there online. Like, we're always looking at that because we're doing a lot with TikTok and YouTube. And it's like that person is successful and they're doing this thing that we may think is odd or weird, or how can they attract it? Well, they're going to attract their tribe. They're going to attract the buyers and sellers that are cool with working with them and who they are. But when somebody really owns it and who they are, which one person may not be one person's cup of tea, they may like, that's fine though, right? That's what you're saying. But this is important. You have to know who you are, but then you're looking to have people that will come in and will fit into what it is that, and if we just jump down to leadership, vision, mission, core values, we throw that in there because people know what those terms are. Matt and I are not all about all that, but a way to say it is, the way we like to look at it is, who are you? Which is what we were just talking about. Who are you as the leader? You're the culture. Who are you? What do you do? How do you do it? Right? That's an easier way to do it, that we like it. Like being super clear about what's important to you. So call it values, call it your mission statement. For your team, what is your team all about, right? Last episode, I was talking about the technical aspect of what type of team are you? Well, this is part of it as well. So I'll give you an example of Cosmo and I and our team in Vegas. So we have morphed over the time here to become, we have seasoned agents for the most part on our team. Not that we wouldn't bring in a newer agent. In fact, we're looking very specifically for, in building our agent attraction plan, people who have certain qualities. And one of them is they're okay with social media and video in particular. And we're looking for people that that live and work and love areas of town that we're not already covering. Okay, that's specific about who we are, what kind of team we are. We're doing more modern marketing. We're very much into social media, particularly video. And we're looking for people that have those skills, but also can fit into the way our team is, the way we all communicate. And it's a little family, right? Everyone gets along, and it's, so we're looking for that. Not anybody can join the team. They have to be able to be a good team player. We're all about, it's not about, in fact, we're not even calling ourselves O'Brien Merabi team anymore. It's really Cosmo and Jan working together. And then we have a collection of other folks that work with us, but we're helping them build that brand. That is definitely a little counter to most Rainmaker teams, but it's what we've decided to do. Okay. And we're clear about that. So we're looking for somebody who's confident, who can stand in, who's coachable. So that's the stuff you've got to be clear about. It's almost like writing down who's your perfect agent, and then you'll be able to start thinking about attracting them. So that's the first part about your team.
It's interesting. If you're talking about culture and if you really do own yourself, it is going to help you a long way on the other end of the next part of this when we start talking about retention, because, Jam and I, we're familiar with a place that, espoused just fun and uniqueness and just come here and have a great time, and we're all about openness and inclusivity and all of that kind of stuff, where actually the culture was rather oppressive. So it just did not, they didn't work together, and it was turn and burn. I mean, talk about a revolving door of employees, and that is not the culture you want to be in. So it's so super
well, unless that is who you are, and then you're embracing that you're going to churn and burn all the time, right?
And clearly there were a lot of people that like that culture. So there you are.
So that those first couple bullets are about that, right? So that's the part where you're really clear, you do that work, you're not being somebody you're not, and then you're almost identifying who's the perfect person. Now the rest of your affiliation proposal has to be what's in it for the agent that joins your team. And this is where you're going to talk about any training or education and that you provide. And then also you can obviously always leverage the brokerage that you're in. So as part of you join our team, you not only get this, but you get these other benefits that are at our XYZ brokerage. So that could be admin support, additional training that's available, whatever the tools and stuff are that you're using. So you put this into your presentation as well, but you focus mainly on them being a part of your team, what's in it for them. So there's that. And these are the things people want to know. I find that the team member, we have seasoned agents on our team right now. And why do they continue to stay with us and give a little bit of their commission to us? It's because of these things that we provide to them that they see value in. Yeah. And honestly, they're things like leadership. They can call and we're coaching them. And I've been a longtime broker, so people feel confident that I can help them if they, Cosmo, they go to Cosmo for a lot of that now too, but also marketing. And we bring this leadership and coaching and support that the people want, that the ones that are on our team want. Otherwise, they would just go somewhere else, right? And they fit into our team because we do provide all that. Yeah. Marketing and lead generation for us is mainly around what I just mentioned, where we do things to support their listings. We're helping them with technology that they would not go do on their own. Okay, they just didn't, and that's what they like. So we're talking about that. And then, of course, as your team, if your team particularly gets larger, then you generally would maybe look at our next step would be, if we decide to go bigger, is to get an administrative assistant or transaction coordinator that would help with additional admin. We have other outside people that help now, like people that do photography and video, and Cosmo does a lot of that, drone photography, but we have other people that help. That's all part of the support that we provide. And the tech and innovation, as I just mentioned. And then ultimately it's what's your compensation plan? Do you have, and we'll talk about that in our next episode, but do you have a variety of compensation plans? I don't want to get into this now because we'll save it for the next episode, because it's all relevant to what's the experience level of your agent, what's the role they're playing, and then you can have a variety of ways to compensate and to be competitive. So somebody sees the value in that. Okay. So that's what your agent attraction plan is. And what do you do with that, by the way? You should have it in like a document. Like a little PDF. For Cosmo and I were just working on our listing and marketing proposal, and it's the same idea. We like Canva. I'm all about not slides anymore so much. I like the idea of, Matt, what we did with like a little magazine style, style, so you can turn it into a PDF or you could print it out. And you do want to create something like that, like 3 or 4 pages of the value proposition, who you're looking for, so you can use it in what I'm going to talk about next, which is how do you find people? How do you attract people to join your team? What are some, in our training program for Real Estate Team Builder, we go through a ton. There's a whole module. Module 5 is all about recruiting. Recruiting, attracting, everything that I used to teach brokers on. We over the years, we modified it to teams. It's the same stuff, by the way. You're doing what a broker does, but you're just doing it on a smaller level. Okay, so let's talk about, we're going to share 5 of them today. The first one, before I even talk about co-op agents, Matt, I always like to mention, sometimes you can find people in your database. And what I mean by that is you have a database, or whoever you send your newsletter to, or whoever is in your CRM. I think you let people know that you're looking for a certain type of person, and for a couple of reasons. If you have 500 people you mail to, they could be interested in getting into the real estate business. Now, I don't necessarily condone, and if you follow any of our training, I'm going to tell you, don't hire brand new agents unless you're ready for new agents. This is always the exception that I say. Sometimes a family member or somebody like a friend. I know many, many successful real estate team leaders who have someone on their team that used to be their client. So you could find that, and that might be an exception if you really know them and they're a good fit, and that could be an exception to hiring a new person. And why I say don't hire a new person, by the way, is most people don't know if they're going to make it in real estate or not. And unless you're like our previous partner there, Richard Brucken, who has a great model in place that's ready to handle new people. He's prepared. He's a broker within a broker, knowing he's going to hire 10 people and only 3 or 4 of them are going to make it. So this is why you don't hire a new person. And when you hire a new person, they do not know how good they have it. And that was my experience, by the way, Matt, as a broker years ago in the Prudential world before they became Berkshire Hathaway. We had a great training program, and we'd hire all these new people, and we take them through all of that. And then they would say, oh, I'm going to go down the street to this 100% company because I'm going to keep 100% of my money. And they would get there and then realize, holy crap, there's nothing here for me, but the grass is greener syndrome. Right. So that's why stay away from new people for the most part, with the exception of maybe there's somebody But the very first one is co-op agents, and this.
Hold on before you get there. Can I add on to that just for a second?
Yeah,
because another strategy you can use is something that Rich does use in the company that he's in. He does have a great training program developed that for new agents, but he has strategically talked to the broker and is watching new agents that have joined the brokerage that maybe are not necessarily good, making it like they thought they were going to, and then swooping in and saying, hey, come over to my team and I'll give you some additional training. So that's another way in, as far as new people go, is to don't alienate your broker. Be on the win-win with your broker, and all that does is help the whole company. So
well, and 100% be with your broker, because you have to know you're not going to see anything on this list like get agents from your company, because many companies have a no recruiting policy.
That's right.
But that's a great point Matt brings up. Plus, Rich has not only he has a career path. Yep. So not only is he helping new agents grow, he can maybe help the broker save a new agent, and he has an opportunity to become a manager on his team. So it's very unique.
So in essence, you're really, if you play the cards right and you have a relationship with your broker, you are actually becoming an attractor for the actual brokerage in a way too. So I mean, you have set yourself up to be a win and a valuable part of the whole.
That's a great point. Over the years, he's been one of the big recruiters for the office that he's been in.
That office probably wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for Rich. So there you go.
All right. So now when you're clear about who the person is that you want, so I first tell agents that I'm coaching, who are people you've done transactions with in the last year or recently? Is there anyone that go back through your transactions, any agents? So start with agents that or you've done a deal with, if they're not already a top producer. Many times you can find someone who is a great fit, especially if you had a great transaction with them. There's an opportunity in the middle of all that. Have you ever considered joining a team? Right. To have that conversation with them. And there's a whole process that we teach in our program on how to reach out to. This is what we teach brokers: go out to say, appreciate working with you. Love to be able to have an opportunity to talk to you about. I think you'd be a great fit for my team. Let's talk about it after we finish our transaction, kind of thing, right? Or follow up afterwards as a thank you and an invitation to come and sit down with you in the middle of a transaction. But go back and think about anybody you've done deals with in the last year or two and start there, which could lead you to reaching out to agents in certain companies that might be a good fit for you. So that's the first one, co-op agents. Okay. It's in the moment and it's in the past as well. So the next one, what do we have for the next one? Social media. Sorry, you're not keeping up, Vanna. Come on. Social media, obviously you're going to want to create a flyer, of some sort, a piece, a marketing piece that you can put. Now back to this part about so social media is making me think about how you send it out to your newsletter that you're hiring, because not only is it somebody in your database, but they may know someone who's agent somewhere who's struggling. Also, put put a thing on your website or anything that you have online, including your social media that you're hiring, including your LinkedIn. I'm going to get to LinkedIn in a second.
LinkedIn, yeah.
So post it on social media. And we're giving you ideas that we have done that we actually have had leads from. So I never hired anybody that was a co-op agent on the team, however, but I did as a broker. But social media, we've had people reach out because somebody saw something on Facebook, for example, and led somebody to us. And then I think the next one is, do I have LinkedIn on there next?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So LinkedIn, this is my favorite story actually for LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for looking for people. Okay. So and I'll give you the story of how I found Dallas, Cosmo's wife, who was first person who joined my team when I decided to start a team restart a team, gosh, I don't even know now, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
And how I met Cosmo. So I wanted to do more of a veterans team. We've been doing the coaching and I'm in Vegas and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I had let my license expire. That was the story. I decided to which was silly, long story, but don't ever do that, people. I had a license for all these years, and then I had to go take the test again because I thought it was Matt's fault, really.
It was my fault. I was
working with Matt, and Matt's like, you don't want to go do that, and it's really not his fault. I just didn't go renew my license. It was stupid in hindsight. Anyhow, I get my license again, and I'm going to start a team. So I went on LinkedIn, and I was looking for people it's very easy on LinkedIn to do a search. I was specifically looking for agents that were a couple years in the business that were veterans like me, because I was going to, Matt helped me with the marketing. We were going to be the Vegas veterans, whatever it was, right? Vegas veterans. I can't even think of what we called it. We built a page, we did the whole thing. So I just went onto LinkedIn and I searched Las Vegas, real estate agent or realtor, veteran. And I found Dallas. And Dallas was also an Army officer like me. Yeah. And I went on, I connected with her on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I went and researched her, right? So I made a connection. Hey, I'm Jan. I see that you're also a veteran. I'm looking for somebody just like you to join my team. And I sent it to her in a LinkedIn message to try to connect. Then I went and Googled her and I saw that she was at another company at the time. And obviously another company, and she had a video. Okay. And this is like 6-7 years ago. She had a video introducing herself. I'm like, oh my God, I totally want to talk to her. So she ends up calling me. And the weird part of this story to this day, Cosmo and Dallas will tell you this story. She comes in to interview with me and she goes, you're not going to believe how I was online looking for a veteran-friendly broker or team to join, and I found your page, the one that Matt helped me create. We found our Vegas Veterans Network or whatever the heck we had called it, and she had found me as I was reaching out to her. So you never know, right? And anyway, long story short, she joined me. She decided that she did not like real estate, but Cosmo did. Yeah. Cosmo her husband Cosmo is now our partner in our WBNL coaching and partner in Vegas team. Really likes the marketing side of it, has a whole other background, and got his real estate license to support Dallas, and now the rest is history. But that was all from a LinkedIn connection. And I made other connections. I really, really recommend LinkedIn, especially if you're looking for somebody that has certain skill sets, or they're in a certain area, or whatever, depending on what you're looking for on your team. You can find people and connect with them. It's really cool. So that one's a good one. And actually, we also had someone call us to join our team one time. They weren't a fit, but they saw our posting on LinkedIn, and that wasn't even actively searching for them. Now, open houses is awesome, man. If somebody's doing an open house, I already like this person because they're out prospecting. Okay. They're out doing something. And so many top agents and listing agents don't like to hold open houses. So generally, not always, but generally the person at the open house is someone who's looking to do business and is a very possible great candidate to join your team. So what do? You go out and you stop at people's open houses when you see them. And this is why if you had a nice little brochure, a little booklet about joining your team and your business card or whatever, you could drive people with QR code, whatever, to go learn about, because maybe you have a page on your website. That idea of your attraction UVP, you should put that on your website as well if you're always wanting to hire one or two people, right? If you're open to hiring people, I would have we're looking for agents who fit this criteria, right? Yeah. So open houses is an awesome way to do that. Just go in and talk to them. I mean, their broker's probably not coming and seeing them. And then we definitely have got leads from this. Now, your local association may or may not allow this. It's not through the association that we do it. We do a third party. There are third party people out there that will allow you to send a recruiting flyer. And so, what I tell everyone, and wherever you are in the world listening, you get if you get a recruiting flyer from somewhere, scroll to the bottom and see if it's through a service like eProperty Blast or something to that effect. There's some third-party companies out there that manage lists of agents that might allow you. Some of them don't allow a recruiting message, some do. We have a local vendor in Vegas that has lists from all over the place, and so we will send that as well because it's inexpensive. It doesn't have huge open rates, but you never know, especially if the headline's great.
Yeah, we actually they do work all over the country. We'll put a link to them in the show notes today.
Oh, Gary?
Yeah.
eInfotech. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. They are all over the place.
We used that for Florida. Remember, we got quite a few.
Right.
We got several. Yeah.
And he's very affordable, like maybe $20 a flyer blast. And so try that. So you have to think of all these ways. It's like getting the word out. And that's why I started with get the word out to your database because they may know someone. Then you do it on social. You have it up on your website. You're going to open houses. You talk to your manager and all that as well, right? And then you talk to your manager too, because they may have somebody that is struggling or whatever. And so that's all the things to do it. And then when you
don't forget the last thing, which you don't usually get a lot from this, but you will get people that will have interest. Make sure that your agents that you already have become your brand ambassadors, become your team ambassadors.
Oh, that's a great point too. Absolutely. And actually, we have had members on our team recommend other folks that weren't ready to come on board yet or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. So
and I didn't even want to start there because that gives them kind of like more ownership of the company. It's like, let's help me build the team.
Help us find someone that is a fit because and that's a great point. If you have a smaller team like we do, we'd almost want to have everybody's buy-in on the hire, which is a whole nother level of retention. So let's talk about retention because I like that. The idea that, hey, you gotta meet our team, and our team makes the decision if you're on board or not. I like it, and I think what I'll do, because I want to talk about retention here for our podcast, but when we talk next time about compensation, I will talk a little bit about our process for hiring because I think it's important to go through a specific process.
Yeah.
So we just talked about how do you get candidates, but there's a process between getting a candidate and actually interviewing them that we'll talk about next week. And then the compensation part as well. Okay. I forgot about that. It's very important. All right. So retention, it's all about having those systems in place. Okay. So like I mentioned, the fact that we do a monthly newsletter is a big plus for our people. One simple system that everyone loves. They love it because they weren't doing it. I actually do this with Cosmo. I actually prepare it and then he helps me with a couple things and gets it out. We work together to get that out. Ultimately, if we grow larger, we'll have an admin help with that. But I still do the market report and to get a video up on YouTube, and then we plug this into our newsletter. But this is one example. But how we follow up with our people in the database, what we do post closing, that's all part of your business systems. 100% checklists and processes down to the flow of how we do things together. These are seasoned agents, and they have their processes too. But our newer agents used our checklist and help them, get plugged into what we're doing. We're actually fine tuning all that stuff right now, which leads to the next one, which I think is the operations manual. Yes. Yep. The operations manual is key. It is the key to how you run your team so that as you grow and you bring an admin in, or you ultimately want to get to a place where you're up here and someone else is running the show, the operations manual takes those checklists and processes and breaks it down into how you do it. And
you can't be running a Mickey Mouse organization. People that join your team, you want to make them feel like they're getting almost better care than they would be from a broker.
That's right. And these are behind the scenes things that are helping your people because you have this structure and systems in place. What happens with a lot of teams that are team leaders that are busy, they're busy, they have a lot of business, and they feel like they have listings and stuff and leads, and they're blowing off the leads. So they'll hire people. And the people come on and none of this is in place. And the agents were looking for all this. They were looking for structure, systems, support. Yeah, maybe they thought they were looking for leads, but what they wanted was mentoring and learning and structure and show me what I have to do. And not everybody's ready to do that. They just said, I don't have time for you. I'm busy, but come join my team and give up half your commission. See, that's not going to work. You got to have value. All right. And these things that we're talking about, if you put the work into it, people are like, wow, this is like a well-oiled machine. I see where I fit. You have processes for everything. Thank you. Okay. But it's also this, the training and coaching is key. I think that is the main thing people want. They want the mentorship. They want to have that show us what to do and, or be there when I need you kind of thing. Or even if you have a structured training program or coaching program in place, we do a monthly meeting, and then we'll do one-on-ones. Cosmo will cover certain things with them, helping them with their videos and go out and doing that. And then I may work on whatever they want to work on, okay, for their own system. So that's important. And then recognition. This is such a big, important one.
Yep.
And everyone wants recognition. And the person who says, you know what, I don't need any of those awards, or I don't need any recognition, I actually think they're the ones who want it the most. Thou doth protest too much, or whatever the quote there is. So if you're a team, be a team. It's not like it's me and then all these little guys, these minions are down here. It's like the only way you got that recognition. I'm just talking like awards in a company for the moment. There's other ways to recognize people, but awards ought to be the whole team got the award, not Jen and Matt, have the top team. It's like, yeah, we did it because we have this whole team. So try to have that. Sometimes the company only wants to recognize you, but you can do what you have to do to make that be the team in recognizing your team. And then you can do things internally in your team. If you have a big team, whatever size team, it's like you can do in your internal messaging, recognize somebody for accomplishment or a success. That's what we will do. In our meetings, we'll go around the room and I'll know about, or Cosmo will know, and I'll be like, hey, Vicky, great job on such and such. Or do you know that Vicky is getting this much response? She has this many leads from this video, and then she'll talk about it. So she's getting some, we're recognize everybody on the team because of cool stuff they're doing and what's been the success. And we do that in a group, and everybody is, we care. I mean, we do care. It's exciting, right?
Recognition in business actually completely equates to something that we talk about at WBNO coaching all the time, and that's gratitude. So, if you, in your personal life, you do exactly the same thing, or you should be doing exactly the same thing with gratitude. And that's just things simply as, writing a personal note or doing something to where you're touching someone and telling them that they, that you appreciate what they're doing. So gratitude and recognition, exactly the same thing. One is used in business and one is used in your personal life.
Yeah, just simple things, right? It could be we'll do lunches, we'll get together and do these little team events. We'll do like an end of the year sort of little gift saying thank you for being on the team, So it's just these simple things, and a note. Matt's right. Just a note, a handwritten note that you might send to the house or something saying, appreciate you being on the team, or congratulations on this great accomplishment or whatever, is super, super important, right? It's not hard, guys. This is not hard stuff.
No, it's actually almost the fun part of it.
It is. And it's often overlooked because everybody's so busy, but this is why people will stay with you.
Yeah, because if you have the right culture, if that is part of your culture, that almost makes you feel as good as the person you're actually doing it to. So
I agree, and don't underestimate the power of all of this. Okay, so that is some retention tips, and there's it's everything from meetings to all these little simple things, and you're whoever you are as a person, you'll just don't think that if you wonder why all of a sudden people are leaving, you have to look in the mirror. Okay, as Matt said.
There you go. That is absolutely the truth.
All right. So episode 204, we will definitely get into, I will dive in first to the whole process of hiring an admin, or we'll talk first about the hiring process. We really definitely feel there's a process to that. And then we can talk a little bit about what should be in your contracts, which, remember, if you're hiring a licensee, just as a little setup for this, they are first and foremost an agent of the brokerage.
Yeah.
With that independent contractor agreement. So you're basically going to do an addendum or your own contract that you need to get your broker involved in. So they need to know. But there's certainly things you want to cover. Just because as an old broker, I remember many a problem of team members and agents and things weren't being clear about how commissions were paid, or what if somebody left a team, and all that has to be handled in your contract. So we'll cover that in our next episode. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. I'd like to remind you, if you want to get our intro to Team Builder program, where'd it go here? Where's my little, where's my thing? There we go. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Intro to team building. Go over to wbnlcoaching.com, go to our freebies page, and you can download or sign up for our intro to team building program. You will get a heck of a lot out of it once you get through that. Or if you already know that you want to build a team, we have our signature program, a real estate team builder. It's a 6-module course that gives you every bit of what we talked about today, plus a whole lot more, and then all the other processes as well, kind of from soup to nuts, right? From are you sure you're ready to an exit strategy and how you actually can turn your business into a retirement plan. So the whole process in between. Fantastic course. We have had it and upgraded it several times over the last 7 years. And it is available for you online. So go over to wbnlcoaching.com, just go to our course page and you will find it there.
All righty.
So what else, Jen O'Brien? It's Earth Day. Did you do anything for Earth Day?
No, but I saw your email go out and I didn't even realize it was Earth Day. So perhaps I'm going to go out in today and enjoy the earth.
Yes, I was putting together a message actually about gratitude today when I was working on that. And I said, hey, wait a minute. This is about Earth Day. We love this too. We want people to get up and get out. This is also the conclusion of National Park Week. This has been the first year. And I can't tell you, well, that's not true because of what's been going on the last couple of years. We haven't been doing a lot of wandering. But National Park Week was always a fun week for me to get out and doing a little exploring. So I'm looking forward to getting out and doing that again. I have some friends that were going up to Kings Canyon this weekend. Is the opening weekend of Kings Canyon.
Are you?
Yesterday, huge rock slide, 200 pound or ton boulder rolls down the hill, knocks down 17 trees, and wipes out part of the road. So now Kings Canyon is now closed for another month as they try to get that all fixed. So what they were like so bummed. These are my friends that go up to Kings Canyon every year
and stay, camp out.
Yeah, for like 10 days. They were not happy campers yesterday. There was a lot of stress.
That's weird.
Oh my God.
There's not
it's so funny. And even she said, and I'm happy that she said this, she goes, well, at least we weren't driving on that road when that boulder came tumbling down.
That's right. When you get bad news, you got to find the bright side.
And that is the bright side, because you wouldn't have been long for the world as 17 trees are tumbling down on you.
That is wild.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, so anyway, it is Earth Day. So,
but what's the backup plan? There's not another place to go?
Well, it opens in the month, so they're going to go. They're just bumping it a little bit of time.
All right.
Anyway, I'm sure they'll get on their boat and they'll go to Catalina. That's what they always do. So, there you are.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, everyone, go respect the earth a little bit, but just for your own health and well-being, get up, get out, do a little refresh and recharge of your own system. That'll help you out with all the stuff you're doing, whether you're trying to build a team or just get freaking through life.
Or move across country, whatever.
any of that stuff.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Be forever wandering, but not lost.